Hey everybody, how's it going today? It is me, Captain Energy. Here we are again, another Saturday morning. Only this time we are 1 week away from the big holiday known as Christmas. I'm kind of excited. I can tell you my kids are kind of excited, but I guess that's what kids do, get excited for holidays. I'm looking forward to it just because I just like Christmas and I like the seeing family and that type of thing. And we've got our every year we have I'll call it a large party because we have pretty much my whole family, my wife's whole family comes over, and we have what we call Fitzmas. Fitzmas is their last name. Rooted, at least my wife's last name is Fitzgerald, maiden name, and since that is their last name, we adopted the name Fitzmas instead of Christmas for our Christmas party, where we have everybody over, and we usually have a big kind of event. This year has been a little chaotic. We had the event scheduled at a venue, and the venue called. Actually, they didn't even call. We called them to confirm that everything was good to go, and they're like, "Oh, we're closed on that day." Well, thanks for the heads up, really appreciate it. So we have migrated the celebration to my home, which should be pretty excellent for the most part. Usually we've had it here a bunch of times, and it's been good. So I don't anticipate this year being any different. I think it will be a good gathering, and it's always a good time. It's going to be the day after Christmas this year, which usually we try and get it in a couple weeks ahead. And we have, of course, my family is Eagles fans, so we've got we're setting up today. My son and I are moving the TV down to the family room where we're going to have the game playing. And everybody can kind of watch that if they want to, or just gather upstairs with everybody else where, we'll spread it around the house. It'll be good. Anyway, so as you probably know, this year has been super, super chaotic trying to get your hands on anything. The hardware shortage continues. Trying to get your hands on any gear right now that is new and coming out is ridiculous. The only thing you can pretty much guarantee you can still get is software. So, personally, I feel like this is the year of the really cool plugin in that way, because you can't get the Behringer RD9. You can't get the MK2 404 MK2 from Roland. Everyone's out of stock of everything. The things you can still get, the Akai Force, the MPC 1, the MPC Pro Live, whatever the different models. I can't remember all the models. But those are available. Things like that are available, but they're kind of on the higher spectrum of price. You can still get my personal, right now, favorite sampler, which is the Novation Rhythm, Circuit Rhythm, which I have one right here. I love that thing. It's simple enough and priced very competitively at $400. They did have a sale, which I really wish I'd kind of bought a spare one during that sale, but I did not. But that unit is great. It's got a couple limitations to it, but the limitations it has makes you think of different ways to take advantage of it. And there are a lot of ways to get around that problem, if you will. And actually, when you start thinking in the way that lets you get around it, it makes that device a lot more flexible, because you start thinking of it in ways of, oh, well, I've got all these sample slots and all this space I can put samples in. So why don't I do it this way instead of that way? And pretty soon you're thinking on a whole different level, because at first your first thought is load it and play it. Load a sample, play the sample. What you're not thinking is load variations of that sample onto different banks and play the banks, or onto different pads and play the pads that way. And it makes you think that way once you kind of get your head wrapped around it a little. It's nice. It's definitely a different way to make music. And I talked to a guy in Germany, Mixed Off Music, who is a YouTuber as well. And I'll put some links to some of his stuff. He's done a couple Christmas tracks, and they're fun. And he does some techno stuff, which I love is techno, because I love techno. And being as that I kind of got into techno during the demo scene days back in the late 80s, early 90s, pardon me, hearing that kind of music being made still today is just awesome to me. I just love it, so it's pretty cool. And seeing it made with modern technology is pretty cool. As you know, Reason just put out their new Bassline Generator. Let's see here. Let's drop that in here real quick. I'll just drop in a bass type instrument, and I will grab the Bassline Generator, which I did purchase. Yes, $69, worth it, I think. And not only is it if you have Reason Plus, you don't have to pay anything for it. It's just part of your subscription. But if you're like myself and you're an owner, you purchased your license and you own it, then this is the way you get it. Technically, I didn't have to buy it, as I do have a subscription going on right now because they had a deal going on and I joined during the deal. But I bought it anyway because I think it's worth owning. So, and once I leave their deal again, which I will eventually, I will still have it. It gives me a good chance to really try things out better, though, than their 30-day trials or whatever. Also, I knew I'd be using it quite a bit once I messed with it a little bit. But yeah, when you first load it, it kind of sounds like this. Let me turn the click track off. Okay, and by adjusting these values over here, it goes up and down these patterns, and there appear to be 64 green patterns and 64 blue patterns. And you can change them to any of those numbers. As you change them here, you see that it changes the way it sounds. Over on the left and right, we have note lengths, so we can adjust note lengths. You can change velocities. We have right here the Variator, which I haven't really messed with that yet. Looks like that adds some variation to it. And what that actually lets you do, now you can take these different tracks, these different rhythms, and they can go across these different pattern buttons here. So I can go right here, and if I put in 5224 again, basically just take these let's grab this over here too and do it this way. I thought I could be smart and just grab it in the middle, but it's kind of hard to navigate that. But this gets me back to the bass pattern that we're using, because they are preset, like I said. But the other side of it is that you can actually come in here and grab these and tweak them. They're based on a root note and then plus whatever. There's a plus up to 27, it looks like here. And then there's also down. You can turn down notes. You can enable or disable the notes of playing. Right down here we have like a link. So if I click this, this should, let's see. Yeah, it just plays that note like kind of as long as it'll play for. If I change the note length, turn this up a little here. Let's see what that does. I can't remember. But you have all kinds of ways to change this up. There's different rates. There's, you know, shuffle amounts over here. Pick your root note. One of the sites, or one of the broadcasts I was on, I think it was actually the Reason broadcast itself. Somebody was saying, how do you get it to stay in a scale? And because he says the scale that it was playing in was broken, it was not correct. Well, the way that you would correct the scale so that it would play in a scale that you choose would be to use basically another player. Just go right over here, grab scales and chords, and if you drop this in right here, oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Grab this and drop it in right here. Okay, and we're on C, and I tell it I want to play it in C major or whatever scale I want it to be in. This will make sure that the notes it plays are within that scale. And that's how you'd fix that, because that was something somebody brought up. How do you fix the issue with the it slipping out of the scale? You know, kind of neat stuff there. But let's see, manual rhythm, manual pitch. Okay, so this is whether you want to turn on or off manual rhythm, manual pitch. Didn't know that was there, just noticed it now. But this thing has got a lot of options to mess with that can give you some really interesting results. I mean, and you don't have to use it just for bass lines. Actually, I was playing around with it just for the fun of it, and I came up with this. Where are you? Might be this one right here. No, that's not it. See if I can find the project I was working on. I was messing around with it and came up with something kind of cool. Oh, here we go, Auto Jam. This is the one. Now, I was playing with the different players and just one single instrument that I actually created any notes on. Okay, these are my notes right here. Everything else is auto-generated, just to play with it and see what we'd come up with and see what happened. But just to see what happened. I mean, this is pretty cool, I thought. Including, I mean, players that I used in this. Let's see here. Let me show you what's going on. We've got a Bassline Generator right here playing this bass, okay, as you would expect. The drums are being generated right here by beat map. This part right here, that's me actually playing some notes, you know, just messing around a little bit. Then we go down here. This is being auto-generated by the Bassline Generator, and then run through a note echo so that it pauses just a little bit and plays the timing differently. Then run into a scales and chords to change it up, and then into an arpeggiator. You can combine these players in so many unique and fun ways that it's just crazy. Ivan, how are you, man? Happy Saturday, bud. Yeah, I can't believe we're a week away from Christmas. I'm wearing my Santa hat. But yeah, this is mostly generated from the players. And it's kind of cool because you can actually go over here and I can take this whole thing and drop it down or whatever. Let's see, wooden string right there. The only thing I haven't figured out how to do is, unless I do it through a Combinator, would be to send the notes to everything at once so that I could play them all kind of like just a giant patch type thing of auto accompaniment. I think you could do that with a Combinator. I'm pretty sure I'll mess with that later. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Did you get all your Christmas shopping done? I got Ivan on here with me. Ivan's one of my people. I'm pretty much ready for Christmas. I mean, my wife is taken care of. My kids are taken care of. My mom is taken care of in a sense. Like, I took care of her before Christmas, like way before Christmas. On her birthday, we bought her a very expensive thing that was kind of like a overlap. Her birthday is right around the corner. So, my siblings, we don't buy each other gifts, really. I mean, I give, them a little something just to kind of, commemorate the day, but not like a crazy thing. It might be scratch tickets. It might be something like that. And I buy for my nieces and nephews on my sister's kids, because they're little. And my wife buys for the little nieces and nephews. Anyone, pretty much, if you're under 7, you're getting something. But her mom's good, taking care of. My mom's good, taking care of, like I said. And my son keeps pushing for things. He's pretty funny. I'm like, dude, I'm done. That's that. I don't want to reveal any of the few things that might be a surprise to him on here, but I mean, among the things that I know he's expecting and won't be a surprise, for stocking stuffers this year for him, I ended up getting him G Fuel, which is it's an energy drink that he likes. So I bought him a few cases of that. Last minute shopper. I used to do that. I used to go out and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do all my shopping on the Christmas Eve pretty much, and I'd be at the stores till they were shutting the lights. And this is when stores used to shut at like 6 o'clock, you know what I mean, for Christmas. They'd be like, all right, 5, 6 o'clock, the day is done. Christmas is here, and let's get out of here. We'll see you guys on Black Friday. Oh, not Black Friday. Sorry. We'll see you guys on the 26th. Sorry, that's Thanksgiving. But, yeah, I mean, I worked in retail at the time, and I just, you had no time to Christmas shop if you worked in retail, because you were working all those hours. They needed someone to be at the store so other people could buy their stuff. And by the time you were done, the last thing you felt like doing was going to a mall and dealing with people. Not that I don't like dealing with people. I like people, or I wouldn't have worked in retail at all. But, I have a threshold. and by that point, I'd hit the threshold. I was like, okay, this is done. Now as an adult, I mean, in my 50s type thing, I start Christmas shopping in probably August. Just because, one, your wallet doesn't take the hit, your credit cards don't take the hit if you plan a little more, and two, you got a much better chance of getting all the things you wanted to find for everybody. I mean, you kind of get a feel for what people want, give yourself a full month window, and that way, it's not as much of, it's not as stressful. It's a lot easier. Um, but I mean, I used to wait till the last second, and and it was kind of fun, but it ended up getting people a lot of things that they were like, "Oh, look, a lamp, thanks." I got my mom one year pole lamps, those like the halogen type lamps. For the living room, she was saying she wanted some. The living room was too dark one time. She said, so I went out and it was like I said, the night of Christmas Eve, and I bought her 2 halogen lamps, and she's like, oh, I don't really. Those make me nervous. I'm afraid I could burn the house down with them. Like, they're not going to burn the house down if you just leave them where they are. They don't just catch fire. The reason they cause fires is when like a pet knocks them down or whatever into a feathery pillow, and that type of thing. We didn't have any pets. So not in the house anyway. Everything lived outside back then. That was when dogs were, dogs, not like part of the family. They were a pet that we kept outside and lived in his doghouse or her doghouse, and that was that. What they weren't. My dogs. When people used to have their pets in the house, I was like, wow, that's so weird. Their pets are in the house. My dog lives in the house, but whatever. That's now. Yeah, I know what you mean about the gift cards, and I feel the same way. Gift cards are the best invention ever, because all you need to know is, like with my sister, for example, all I need to know about my sister is that she likes to get a bargain. She shops a lot at Marshalls and TJ Maxx, so go to Marshalls and TJ Maxx and get her a gift card. Boom, done. You know, um, if you know me, I'm in surprise, surprise. I'm in a music production. Get me a gift card for Sweetwater Sound or Guitar Center, preferably Sweetwater Sound, that type of thing. You know what I mean? Because it's just I usually buy everything there, and even if you didn't buy me something specific, $10 or $20 toward, whatever that next thing I'm going to purchase is a good thing to me. You know what I mean? My mom, she goes, I know the store she goes to, basically she's very much a bargain shopper, but and my wife, I know she's, whatever, I can get her gift cards if I want to do too. But this year I actually she went out to visit family in Colorado, and I paid for a good part of her trip for her. I gave her money toward her trip. So I figured, I said, I kind of feel bad I don't have anything for you to open on Christmas now. You know what I mean? It's not like an open thing. It's like an experience. And she said she'd rather have the experience than open something. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, if that's what you want, then that's what you'll get. I personally don't really care about getting anything for myself for the most part from anybody, not my wife, not anybody. And I've told my wife this before. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because throughout the year, reality is, I'll see something that I kind of want or need or whatever, and I'll just buy it. You know what I mean? It's not like when I was a kid where you kind of, I don't know, you kind of had this, like, there's like 1 or 2 days a year where you're going to get something you wanted, your birthday and Christmas. And you've got to kind of like stack those thoughts of things that you kind of want to get. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, that's how it was, I'd be like, oh, well, I want a new fishing pole, or I want some new fishing gear, because I was really into fishing when I was 10 years old or so. Or I want guitar strings. I have a guitar and I need strings for my guitar. So I'd be like, I want, Christmas guitar strings were actually a Christmas list item for me. They weren't something that my parents would buy me just whenever, 25 key mini keyboard for myself for Christmas. I'm looking at the Alesis V20 VT. I can't read the letter. MIDI keyboard. Nice. Let's see. Look at it real quick. Well, I know Alesis makes some great stuff. I can tell you that from past purchases. And I feel like you kind of can't go wrong with Alesis for the most part. I also love Arturia and Oh, yeah, dude. That would be nice right there. How many 25 key keyboards out there have the full 16 pads on the left or anywhere on them? They'll give you 8. That's awesome. You got your full set of knobs, a full bank of 8 knobs. You got 16, 24 switches here. I don't know what they do exactly. Let's see. Oh, it looks like the bottom row looks like it's configured for timing for probably a built-in arpeggiator. And the top, oh, they do double duty actually. They're on probably an arpeggiator type timing, and then they have numbers up to 24. I don't know what they do, but they're probably different programmable function type keys. I haven't used this keyboard. Tempo, roll, octaves. It's got your transport stuff right there. That probably to pick patches. Nice. Yeah, dude. That's a pretty sweet looking controller. That's quite a bit more functional than my 25 key controller in front of me right now. I've got my Akai MPK Mini, which is this little guy right here. It doesn't do a heck of a lot of things as far as it does everything I need it to do, but doesn't do a lot more than the basic stuff. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think I've seen one that has except for this one right here that has the full 16 pads. Everything has 8, and like on my Akai MPK Mini, it simulates 16 by pressing this like a bank button, bank A or bank B, and you can change between them. You have 1 through 8 and then 9 through 16, and that's okay, I guess. But whatever. My controller I've been obsessed with lately has been this guy right here. It's not plugged in right now because I've been moving some stuff around. But my Novation Launchpad X. This thing is pretty cool because the way you can configure it, the way you can configure the buttons to be whatever you want them to be, kind of type thing. You can set them so that there's a stripe up and down is a volume knob or something. What I haven't figured out is how to make them more responsive, because when I go like this to change the volume, if I click here to change the volume, bring the volume down to 50%, we'll say, I think it's about 50% right there. If I bring it down to 50%, it goes ooh, and it kind of fades down slow, and I want it to just go like boop, 50% with air. I don't want it to mess around. I'm sure it's a setting. There's a lot of sysx type commands you can send to that thing. Yeah, I was looking at the RD9, like I told you before, the drum kit, and that's just not happening. And I've kind of talked myself out of it because I just don't know that I need it, even though I want the RD9. It's a nice nostalgic piece to have. I just don't know that I actually need it. And for $350, we'll see what happens. My wife gave me money to buy one, so I'm probably still going to buy it anyway when it comes in available. I have one on hold again, so I've got the money sitting in a savings account waiting for it to come in again. And if it comes in and I am in that phase of, gas, if you will, gear acquisition syndrome, I may buy it anyway. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I kind of love the idea of having one, but I kind of don't know that I actually need it. I do have a lot of gear, and sometimes I think too much gear to really make use of it all on a regular basis. And software synthesis, so software synthesizers are really, especially being a Reason user, that's kind of where you came from anyway, per se. If you came from Reason, that's where you came from. You came from software synthesis. If it wasn't for Reason, to be honest with you, I don't know that I ever would have given software synthesis a second look, because the first generation of VST, sometimes when you try something real early and it's not quite ready for prime time, but it's out there and you try it and you just are like not very impressed. The first generation of VST was pretty kludgy, I'll say. I mean, it was the delay on instruments was so slow. Processes just weren't what they are today. There were so many things that made them kind of like feel trashy, in my opinion. It's my opinion, whatever. But made them feel like junk back in the day that I was thinking to myself, forget this virtual garbage. There's no way to do it. You got to buy the instrument or you don't buy the instrument. That's what I thought back in the mid 90s, we'll say, or late 90s when VST came out. I think it was like probably 98, maybe 97 that VST came out. Maybe 99. It was actually after that, because I was actually at the record label when it came out. And I was very excited when I first heard of it. But yeah. Yeah, and that's I just noticed you said, especially in the left side. Yeah, that's even crazier, because most things tend to lean to a right-handedness. Are you left-handed? I'm just curious. Does that help you out in a way, or do you just noticing that it's on the left for your observation wise? I'm just curious. Yeah, the push is a little pricey. I mean, it depends which one you get. They have smaller ones. They have the Push Mini. I was going to buy that one. I got this one as an open box deal. That's why I got the full size one. But I was going to say not the Push. I didn't get the Push. I have the Launchpad. The Push is crazy. That thing is pretty awesome. And I've actually thought about buying. Oh, here we go back to the website. Hold on. I'm actually really toying with the idea of buying this, but I can't get the answer to the question I'm looking for. And that question, because this actually is kind of like the Push and Ableton built into one thing. It's got everything. It's a sampler. It's a sequencer. It can run all kinds of hardware off of it. And right now they're doing a great deal. Look at this right here. 48 payments of $28 a month you could get this thing for. And that's if you get their credit card, but that's no interest. And I would definitely pay it off before. I'm not going to wait 4 years to pay for it. I'm not going to keep paying for something that's basically obsolete by the end of the time or whatever. But this thing you can throw a hard drive into and stream audio right to it or right off of it. What I don't know, and everyone who showed me sampling on it has shown me sampling like clip playback samples. Like they'll record you got the beat, but they don't play it like it's a drum kit. There's no individual notes to it. You could do that, of course, with hit each one. But what I want to know is, can I sample like a piano into it and not like riffs off a piano or scales off a piano or whatever? I want to hit one note and then plug a keyboard into this thing and play it like it's a piano. Or maybe more than one note. Maybe I want to record like 2 notes per octave like I normally do with my samples. Like I'll record the C and the G, and then I'll kind of overlap them so that they kind of give me the full spectrum of all the sounds. I want to know if I can use it like a regular sampler, and I just can't seem to get that answer from anyone. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's a regular sampler. I'm like, but what I mean is this: can I play the instruments on it when I sample them as an instrument? Can I play them like they're an instrument, not like they're a bunch of chopped up pieces, kind of faking an instrument type thing? Like, I'm not trying to do like the hip hop method is cool, but it's not what I want to do all the time. Sometimes I just want to be able to jam on it and play music. And preferably not on the pads, preferably with an external controller. I know you can use, like I saw them hook up like a CS1X to it, for example, in one of the videos I saw where they used it as like a sequencer for CS1X and recorded the CS1X stuff in and threw it on a pad and triggered the pad, and that's cool. That's nice that you could do it that way, and it's usable that way, launching it as a clip. But I want to use it to record like a couple sounds off my CS1X and then play them on here. That way I can, change, basically compose with it, not just reorganize pre-made clips. Something just clicked over here. I don't know what just happened to my chat. That was weird. Anyway, but yeah, the Akai Force, and it went up $200, which really aggravates me because I was ready to jump on this. When I bought my Novation Circuit Rhythm, which was $400 when I bought it. But I bought it, the $300 version. I didn't buy the $300 one when it was on sale. I bought the $400. So I paid the price for it. And this was like $1,100, and I talked to my guy at Sweetwater, and he tells me, "Oh, yeah, the Force, it's all right. It's not that good. Blah blah blah." So I'm like, "Oh." So I took his advice, and I backed off of it. Oh, there we go. Oh, you want to see the back of the unit? Hold on a second. Right here. This is the back. You got your CV gates out and in. It's got your MIDI in and out. No, hold on a second. Oh, I guess it's doing all on the right unit. Yeah, I'm on the right unit. I guess this doesn't have actual physical MIDI in and out. It has those little adapters, which I hate. I didn't notice that until just now. I could have sworn this had regular MIDI, full-size MIDI jacks. But you got your master out. You got a third and fourth output on it. It's got two inputs. The USB on the back can be used for a bunch of different things. I guess you can plug in a drive to it. This is the USB. I can't point and move at the same time. But there's a USB to a computer, and then these two USB 1 and 2 allow you to plug in like another MIDI compliant device. Like you could plug in like a keyboard to it, from what I understand, but I don't have proof. But the things that they say you can plug into it are also things like MIDI sound cards. Like I could plug my Focusrite into this and add an extra 8 ins and 8 outs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it does seem like it's pretty. I mean, and you could put a hard drive right into it, up to a 2 terabyte hard drive right inside of it. I'm guessing that's on the bottom. I don't know if they showed that anywhere here. Okay, there's the adapters I was talking about, the little MIDI adapters. I didn't notice those until just now. That's the back. That's the front. Okay, so this is the front, and the front there's your SD card, so you can have your performance and whatnot on there. Headphone jack and a Q mix. That makes me kind of feel like you could almost use this to DJ with, which would be pretty cool. I always love when there's something I can add to a DJ set. You know what I mean? Because I do like to break out the turntable sometimes and just go, hog wild and mess with things. I haven't DJ'd professionally in, many years. But I used to love DJing, and it was kind of what really got me into production. I mean, honestly, before that, I was doing music, writing music, we'll say, but I was not into producing music, if that makes any sense. I played instruments, but I never really had done the whole gamut, of everything from drums to the bass to leads to the vocals and everything myself. And then when I had discovered that, oh my God, people do this. This is the way. And when I got into DJing and found out how to mix, because I went up to the DJ who was there, who became my best friend, Charlie K. And I asked him, I said, where did you get that version of, 2 Unlimited or whatever? And he says, which version? I said, I don't know. You played like 2 Unlimited. You played like whatever it was, like Twilight Zone or something. And it was a different one than I've ever heard. It like had like parts of this other song in it. And it had like, different beat here. It had different this, that. He goes, oh, I did that. I'm like, oh, you did that? He goes, yeah. I said, where? He says, right here, right now, live. And I'm like, I got to talk to you. And then I literally became friends with this kid like that night. I went to his house. He invited me over, like no qualms about having me over or nothing. Had me over. We sat there and made music and messed with his sampler. Like the sun came up the next day. Thank God I had nowhere to be because I would have been late. But we were up all night long messing with the sampler and records and I've just learned so much that night. Beat matching with turntables. Then I went out and bought turntables. I mean, it was like, that's it. I'm buying turntables. I went out and I got a set of the crappiest Gemini turntables money can buy from Lechmere, which I don't know if you know who Lechmere is or what Lechmere is, but they were, I'll say Lechmere was Best Buy combined with Kmart before there was a Best Buy or before there was a Circuit City or any of that. Lechmere was around for a long time, and they sold a lot of things, but they had a very good audio department and a very good home theater department. I went over there and they had these Gemini turntables, and they were like $99 a crack. So I bought 2 of those, and I went to Radio Shack and bought a mixer. And I'm like, okay, how do we do this? What do I do? How do we make this work? And it was very exciting, and that was that's how it all got started. Then I got into all kinds of things after that. It was, I had been messing with trackers before that, and I'd been messing with other things before that. I got into DJing, I got into lighting, I got into MIDI. I was programming lights with MIDI. It was just what an experience. I got to tell you, it was a whirlwind of stuff that happened at that moment, or after that moment. And I'll say, to some degree, forever changing the course of my life, forever changing my, where I was headed in life. It was a major shift for me. So, yeah, that's a good idea, though. I should go onto the forum and just say, yo, because I've been torn about buying the MPC, because the MPC does do that. You can trig samples like that type of thing, but you can also play them like an instrument, from what I understand. And I don't want to just go in and be like triggering samples. I can do that already. You know what I mean? I can already play an instrument already. I can just go and use Mimic, bring it in there, and I pretty much want the features and capabilities of something like Mimic in a hardware device. That would be ideal. Plus the other things that it does already that I know it does. It's also got some built-in synthesizers in it, from what I understand, and some built-in let me go back over there again. I hate to keep bouncing back and forth, but they added, let's see if they got it on this page. They don't show it here. This latest, but my sales guy told me don't buy it. It's not that good. It's you're really not going to want it. It doesn't do a lot. It does this, does that, blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay. So I held off. Like a month after I didn't buy it, the price goes up $200. They put out an update that made the thing pretty much amazing. I call him again to ask about it. He's like, oh, yeah, the Akai Force, that thing's amazing. You definitely like the Akai Force. And I'm like, dude, you the same guy I was talking to? I'm like, not for nothing, man, but, this is my guy, Rob Kramer, right here. I'm like, Rob, not for nothing, dude, but like last time I asked you about this, you told me pretty much this thing was a bone, and now you're telling me it's the whole damn feast, it's everything. I'm like, what is up? So I'm like, so now that it's $200 more, it's amazing, right? Okay, I see. They released a new update for it, and now it's great. But yeah, I mean, I do think I'm probably going to end up buying this thing eventually. I don't know. I'll say my fear in buying something like this is that because it's so deep, I may either one, never end up using all the features of it, or two, end up walking into it and leaving other stuff behind. Now, not that that's horrible. I mean, I could do the DAW-less thing if I had to. I suppose this could become my environment, I guess. But I kind of do love Reason. I do love Cubase, and I don't see that changing. But the other side of it, of course, is that I always hear people say, "Oh, I want to go DAW-less. I want to go DAW-less." I'm like, man, how long we waited. I'll tell you, before DAWs got to where they are right now, that they're as amazing as they are, why would you want to go back to that? It's just my feeling. Why would you want to take that step back into the prehistoric days of music production where you couldn't record multiple tracks, where you couldn't, or I mean, maybe you still will be able to on these DAW-less type devices, but I mean, where you couldn't do so many things at the click of a button, and you couldn't upgrade it, and you couldn't change it, and really customize it to what you want it to be. I guess if you're a person who wants to I do like limits. So if you're a person who appreciates limits, maybe DAW-less is the right way for you to go, because it imposes some very strict limits on you. It would really slow you down in some ways. But, I mean, are they ways that are going to help you, or are they ways that are going to hinder you? That's what you've got to decide, I guess. That's not up to me. So let's see here. We want to talk about, I don't know if you're, Ivan, do you use Reason at all? I mean, sorry, do you use Cubase at all? Or are you just a Reason user? Just curious. Not that there's anything wrong with either one of those answers. I'm just asking. Because right now I know that myself, I use both. Myself and a lot of other people are really looking forward to Cubase 12, which is supposed to be coming out next year, early in the year. So I'm assuming probably maybe even right away in January. I don't know. It's probably ready to go, and they're just baiting us right now, you know. Maybe putting some polish on it or something. I don't know what they're doing. But Reason 12 is right around the corner. I'm sorry, Cubase 12. I keep saying Reason. Jim, stop talking for a second. Think. Cubase 12 is right around the corner. And one of the big features, I'll say, that everybody's super excited about is the dongle-less feature. No dongle. Now it's going to be something else. They don't know what. If it's going to be a sign-in to a server, or if it's going to be a install a license to a hard drive. No one has really said much about what the actual implications of losing the dongle will be. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious what they're going to do. Yeah, I agree with that. The screen ought to be tiltable. I mean, Digital Performer, Pro Tools, and Live. So you've used a bunch of different DAWs. Yeah. So that's, I mean, Cubase and Cubase, Logic, and Reason are kind of my I'll call them my trifecta of DAWs that I use primarily. And right now, in the order would be Reason, Cubase, and then Logic. Logic is at the bottom. And more than Logic, and sometimes more than Cubase, it depends on my mood, is Gadget on my iPad, just because that software is so freaking versatile and fun. And, you know, if you want to talk about something that's limited, but kind of not limited, it's hard to explain that description. But that device, or that software, Gadget from Korg, is astounding and beautiful and fun to use. It's like they took a bunch of synthesizers and took away all the knobs that make them confusing to use, and gave you the ones that make them fun to tweak, left them there, dumped the stuff that make them hard for people who are beginners. And at the same time, even as a not beginner, even as a pro, you're sitting there going, oh, this is interesting. I mean, I can't do that, but I can do these things, which these are the things that really affect the sound. Those would be minimal changes, small changes, things that would make not huge adjustments like LFOs and that type of thing. Though a lot of those aren't there. But, you know, the cutoff filters, resonance, and things like that, attacks, decays, you know, ADSR, that's all there still. Hey, Secret, how's it going, man? Bitwig, yeah, I heard Bitwig has a good. I haven't tried anything from Bitwig. I have thought of looking at other DAWs. I just feel like it is. What is slow mode? Slow mode. I thought it was. This is what I turn that. I think it's supposed to give me time to respond. It's supposed to keep things on the screen longer. I thought that's what it did, but I might have misunderstood that. I haven't used it before, and it was an option, and it was trying to do 60 seconds. I knocked it down to 30 when I was in there. Because I was like, I don't know what that is. I'll try it at 30 seconds and see what happens. I'm not sure how to change that at this point. If I can, let me look. Customization, maybe. How about this? I don't know if that's going to make it go away or not. I tried turning it off. I think that, there we go. Chat away. Let's see if that works any better. Is that any better? Was it taking time to put your messages up? I don't know what it does. Test, test. I see you. Do you see me? Okay. Yeah, it has a thing here that says slow mode is off, chat away. I don't know what having it on does or what having it off does. It's yeah. That's just like I just tried to tweak it. I didn't know I could even change the I didn't know I could even change that during the live broadcast. That's interesting. Huh. There's a couple little things here I didn't notice until just now. Very cool. Anyway, yeah. So it's like using the blocking people feature, LOL. I don't think I was blocking anyone. But maybe it's like a FCC type scenario where it's like, you know, gives me 30 seconds to remove a, I don't know, I'm guessing, like remove a comment before I actually post it. Like, so if you had something that was like, you know, I don't know, something inappropriate to say. I can't imagine that happening here. You guys are pretty much, you know, no worries. I mean, I don't say anything. I try not saying anything inappropriate myself. I think people. It gives you a countdown timer. That's hilarious. Do you happen to own Vienna Ensemble? I do not. Yeah, no, I don't own Vienna. That's a Steinberg product, right? I think it is. Most of the stuff I buy is that's I think an orchestra type thing. Most of the stuff I buy isn't orchestral. It's you know, mostly aimed at electronic. I don't do sound for, like, you know, whatever, for movies, or I don't do soundtracks of music, movies or TV shows or anything, so I don't need anything orchestral. It'd be cool if I did, but it hasn't come up. I'm actually hoping that Jeff or Sanjay will tune in. I hit them up on the Twitter side to chat with them a little bit about the conversation from the other day, because I was looking at getting that together. Oh yeah, I definitely don't have it. Sorry, Vienna Symphonic Libraries. Oh yeah, so I was saying about Cubase. Cubase 12 is coming out soon. I'm just wondering. I was curious if you were using it, what things you were hoping would be there. I mean, I've got a whole list of things that I'd like to see in there personally, but I don't know what's going to happen. One of the things I was hoping that they'd throw a clip launcher performance type mode in there, but I actually did not realize until the other day, believe it or not, I actually learned something on the Cubase broadcast the other day, the live stream, where Greg was showing how to kind of set up blocks that you could play and loop back to and that type of thing, and set up sort of a performance right there using selections from basically what you were playing in like play the loop back using what was that called, man? Of course I don't remember. I could open the file and see, but I'm just hoping that they do something with that, with the like launching clips and that type of thing. Something kind of like, I guess I don't want Cubase to be Ableton. I just want a couple of the features from Ableton personally. Also, I would really love it if they had a sort of a way to do draw your instruments and effects in the way that you do them on a few of the different editors I've seen, where it's kind of like it looks like a flowchart type thing instead of being just dropping it in and knowing that it's there in the slot or whatever. You can actually see kind of a flow of the way things are set up. I was like, that'd be really cool if they brought something like that into Cubase, but I don't know if they're going to. I don't know. I also don't know if they're bringing in additional sounds or not. One thing that kind of, I'll say, was a little bit of a point of frustration for me on the last update they did to Absolute, which is their instrument pack, is they decided to include with it, what was it? Was it Spectral Layers? I think it was Spectral Layers they put into it, or maybe it was Backbone, one of the two, and whatever it was, they had just released an update to it. So essentially, that was kind of like one of the big features of the new Absolute, was they added that to it. And I'm like, man, why didn't you just, I hate to say that, why'd you put it in there? But I feel like if that was the big add-on, they could have brought them out at the same time, and that way it wouldn't have been like because I purchased the one, you know what I mean, already, and now I was going to purchase the new Absolute, and I did purchase the new Absolute because there were some new sounds and some new other things in there as well that I wanted. But I was like, if you'd just done it at the same time, it would have saved me a little bit of money. And that, I know their objective is to make money, not to save me money, but it just felt like kind of a little bit of a dig into my pocketbook, so to speak. Oh, the Vienna Symphonic Libraries. Is that the one that Jazz Dude likes? I think Jazz Dude was the one who told me to use a Vienna Symphonic. Yeah, dude, that drives me crazy when it's like straight up just. I mean, what do you think you're Adobe or something? No, I'm kidding. But Adobe, I've basically I've had words with the people at Adobe, like actual words, and they weren't good. I mean, I'm surprised I'm not banned from using their products forever for the things I said, but they basically that's exactly what they do. Is like their products. They introduce new stuff, and first they're like, "Oh, Creative Cloud, it's going to be your access to everything. Everything's going to be in Creative Cloud." And when it first came out, everything was. And then they started adding additional products, and those additional products weren't part of it, and they don't intend to be part of it. So it's like now it's like, oh, but I thought that was everything. Well, it was everything then, and except for this one thing that they didn't let you have, but and it just grew and grew and grew until like now it's like, oh, we have cloud and we have these other services as well, and they're all service based. And now that they've got their people used to just paying them monthly for everything, they've conditioned them to just expect that that's how it works, a monthly fee. And I just can't buy into the monthly fee thing. I'm sorry. I mean, it was bad enough with allowed to ask Steinberg feature improvements. Oh, what happened? Did he? What did he? Why do you think he said that? Or why do you think that? Did he say like we're not allowed to ask for improvements, or did he just have like workarounds that he was like, just do it this way or that type of thing? Who? I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where you're at. Hold on a second. Well, PC it was legit money grab. I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. For not censoring what? What they intend to do? Have you seen the? Did you just curious? Speaking of, with regards to reason, did you see the new? Did you see this thing, the Bassline Generator? I think it's pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty all right. I mean, honestly though, I don't know. I mean, is it necessary? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. I've got a very mixed feeling about auto-generated everything, um, because having come from a world of web development, web design, where as a web designer, which I loved being a web designer, um, coming from that world where web design was essentially taken from the hands of developers and put in the hands of everybody in a way with these tools, leaving web designers with only crappy development to be done. Yeah, I mean, like instead of being like designing a website and really designing a website, now it's all like just development. It's pretty much just development. It's not, the fun is kind of gone from website design for me anyway. Even though it's what I do for a living, it's kind of just not as much fun as it used to be. It's just a job now. Um, oh, by the way, I got a new job secret. By the way, this is just a little. I don't know if I told you or not, but I was last week. My employer let me know that I was basically done at the end of the month, and I was like, oh great. So I was just to work the rest of the month and I'd be done. And my agency that I worked for knew what was up, and they contacted me, and they had another position sort of lined up for me to interview for. So I interviewed for it, and I got the position. So now I actually started that new job, even though I haven't actually technically started it, officially started it last week. So it was a very quick transition from Thursday being told I was done, Friday worrying that I didn't know what I was going to be up against for the coming year, to Monday being told I'd be starting the new job on Wednesday. So it was very crazy. Yeah, man. I was excited. It's the same facility and everything. Nothing changed except for what I'm doing for work now. I'm doing Java and front end for a Java application. So that should be fun. Well, more fun than what I was doing anyway, and I understand it better as well. So that's a good thing. One thing, but I was very excited about. I still haven't heard back from Jeff and Sanjay, even though I've been trying to get in touch with them a little bit here. I'm hoping to hear back from what's his last, Jeff Gibbons, and Sanjay C, because about those synthesizers. Jeff was saying he was interested in having work done, and Sanjay C wanted something to do with his to raise money for his efforts in India. So I mean, I was prepared to get rocking on those, and I actually started to work on the ideas and the concepts and that type of thing, and then just heard nothing back. So I don't know if that was just stream chat going on that they were interested in that, or if it was in actuality they're interested in doing anything with that. So I guess we'll find out. Time will tell. Yeah. Probably under the same umbrella. It's for the Navy, I can tell you that. I don't, honestly, to be honest with you, even if I wanted to talk about it, even if I'm allowed to talk about it, and even if I wanted to talk about it, which whatever, I mean, I honestly don't know enough about it to talk about, because literally I was supposed to start the job on Wednesday, but they never got in touch with me. I'm right now working on wrapping up stuff from my other project still. I was supposed to start the job on Wednesday. They never contacted me. Thursday, I was in the hospital for procedure type thing. No big deal. It's all good. Screening type thing. And then Friday, I went back to work, and still nobody contacted me. I don't have anyone's phone number to contact them. So it's kind of like, it feels very like Cloak and Dagger. I've got to wait till they contact me and tell me the password. And when they tell me the password, I have to respond. The eagle, dines at dawn, and then whatever. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see what happens. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying earlier though about so I was saying about Cubase. I am looking for the new Cubase. I'm hoping it's gonna be awesome, and we'll see what happens. I mean, right now, Reason, pretty much, I had one of my subscribers mention Reason to me and say, why haven't they fixed all these things, And I mean, I was talking to, I was actually interacting with, what's his name? David from, what's his YouTube? The David Agenda, I think is what it's called. I believe that's what he calls it. And I was talking to him about Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I'm not. I don't know. I was hoping they actually were seriously interested in talking. I don't know what would happen there. Maybe, who knows? For all I know, Cherry Audio or somebody who actually does this kind of thing regularly was like, "Hey, we'd be happy to make a synth for you or whatever." After they saw the broadcast, and now they're tied in with somebody else, Native Instruments or somebody who is real. I mean, since I'm just me. Not that I'm not real. Obviously, I am real, but who knows? I don't know. Jeff seemed like a good dude, or seems like a good dude, so I don't think he'd, you know, blow me off intentionally. I feel like it's like maybe he's just really busy. So we'll see what happens. Sanjay C too seems like a decent dude. I mean, I don't know, but but yeah, the what was I saying before that? I lost track. I lost my track. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the job and all that kind of thing. And at least I have him employed. Nothing really changed as far as health insurance or salary or any of that. It's since I work with the same company, the contracting company, nothing changes there. So that's delightful as far as I'm concerned, because I personally hate tax changes. And I would have really hated it if they changed if my tax status changed for the last 2 weeks of the year, to have to do paperwork for one more job for 2 weeks of the year would have sucked. Yeah, that's what it basically. I mean, like as far as the Sanjay one, I've been researching other instruments from India, and I found a bunch of really cool ones, and I'm like, oh wow, these I've never even seen some of these in as what do you call it? Yeah, stability is good. Yeah, that's one thing for sure. I mean, I've never seen some of these ethnic type Indian instruments, and I'm like, and I started looking around, and I'm like, oh whoa, I haven't seen these done by anybody yet. So I wonder if it makes me think that would be even regardless. Sanjay's not interested in pursuing it. Eventually, if he decides not to go that route or whatever, I'm still gonna release these instruments because, and I'm actually looking at buying a couple of the physical instruments to make my own sample bed or my own sample bank, because the only problem is now I've got to kind of learn how to play some of them, but most of them are percussive, so it's not like there's a lot more to them than, I'll say, bongos, you know, and oh, dude, you guys are both whatever. What do you call it? You guys can, it's fine. I'm glad you guys are both here, so it's cool. I wonder what happened to Steve. What do you call it? Steve Oldman. Was that his last name? I can't remember his last name, but Steve. You remember Steve? I mean, he was around for a little bit. He started working again though, so I guess maybe he just got busy. He was looking for a job for a while, and he was here. Oldfield, that's it. Oldfield, Steve Oldfield. He was a good guy too. Another one, but anyway, so I started. By the way, so okay, I don't know if you. Let's see, where did my screen go that I had? Don't mind the disaster of icons. You don't want to look. You don't want to see that. I guess I lost my picture. I'll just look it up again. So one of the interesting thing, a very requested Combinator has been the let's see, Propellerhead's REBIRTH. Now, to make REBIRTH as a Combinator, so I started looking into it a while back, and I actually started doing it, but Okay, let me open this image up so we can actually see it. Where's open image in a new tab? That's what I want right there. Boom. All right, so I'm going to zoom this up a little. Okay, here lies the problem. Combinator has a limit of 32 knobs and 32 switches. When you look at this thing is an explosion of knobs and switches, right? That's my opinion here of this, what's going on. So my first thought was, well, and you can't actually do all the things you could do in with a Combinator that was done right, because it was purpose written. You know, it's written with a purpose. Yeah, you like my desktop? It's the thing nightmares are made of. I've got so many icons on there. I mean, look, I got my whole Arturia library here, WaveLab. I've got some games. I got a bunch of websites that I have for different different ideas or whatever, drivers and whatnot. I don't even know. One of these days, every once in a while, I clean it off, and we go from there. But whatever. But yeah, so you look at this thing here. We got two 303s. We got an 808 and a 909, and on the left, you've got these patterns. First of all, this is out. You're not going to be able to do this in a Combinator, unless you put it behind the scenes and add it as like a player and set up like a pattern type player. That's possible. But reality is it's pretty much impossible to do all that is wanted right here in a Combinator. What is possible is to take this whole thing and literally build it in Reason, because you could easily, pretty easily, I could go over here and go, let's see, utilities. Okay, throw on a mixer. This is the mixer that we'll be using for the whole thing right here. And I can go over here and, oops. This right here, this company, I'll bring in, we'll just, actually, you know what? No, we'll get the new one. We'll get the new one, because this is the latest version of this. This is the Audio Realm ABL3. This is a 303, But if I bring in two of these and an 808 and a 909 from Jackbox, we've pretty much got, just do this real quick. Not coming in by a manufacturer, huh? Oh, that's what's up. Okay, so we'll grab a 909. And we'll grab their 808. All right, and pretty much there you go. There we have pretty much the essentials of what was Rebirth. All we're going to do now is get rid of this. Let's see here. Delete just selected only. Wire this up here. Now, nobody wants this version because it would cost a couple bucks, because you end up having to buy the 808 and the 909. They kind of want the free, cost me nothing. I've got an 808 and 909, two 303s, and, but there we have right there. That right there is pretty much Rebirth. If I take all this, right button, maybe it's Control. Control. You guys all in there? and U. Okay, and then if I hit combine, boom. Now they're all in a combinator. So now we literally have, all right. Pretty much now, then we have Rebirth. It's right there. Everything's there. We can throw the effects in now and all that. The problem, though, is that, like I said, nobody wants to buy the actual devices. It would cost them $100 or so to get all these. But without buying the devices, you don't get the full functionality of the devices. You'd only get samples. I could get you samples going on right here. You know, I actually started to build it. Let me show you what I had. And I was building from nothing. So I've got my delay and my reverb down here. My mixer is here instead of putting it alongside with everything else. I had the Simulate 08 because it doesn't do anything. It's just a picture, basically letting you know that there's an 808 in here. Everything is mapped across the keyboard so that, like, let me see here. Where's my, okay. So C -1 through D0 is the 909, C -2 to that's not right here. So this one's not right. Sorry, C -2 through B2 -2 is that's the 909. Sorry, C -1 through D shop 0 is the 808. And then we have the 2 303s mapped. So it's across the entire keyboard, all the instruments, so that it came through as one, because when they're put into a combinator, they all try and receive the same C1. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of spread it across, like sort of do splits. And this was an interesting idea, I think. I just don't know that this is going to be great in practical use. And I've got my bass sound. Let's see if I can. I was messing with the bass. I didn't finish getting the bass sound set up. Try to see where I'm at here. Yeah, we got some overlap, something going on there. That shouldn't be happening. But I've got the drums all laid out, and basically I was going to just do it like this, where it was an 808 image up here, a 909 type image right here, maybe some marketing stuff down here. Over here we've got my delay and my reverb. Like I said, mixer, filter, and distortion right up here. And then here you'd be able to change the type of wave from a sawtooth when it's on to a square wave when it's off. And I just was like, man, this is so much crazy work. There's 30 knobs on here right now. Let's see, we got 2, 4, 9, well, 2, 4, 8, 6, 8, 9. So far 9 switches. And there'd probably be 10 switches. I really wish they would have just said 64 controls, and you could pick whatever you wanted. That way, knobs and switches were interchangeable, because knobs I always seem to run out of, and switches I could care less about, especially since I can't do banks. If I could do a bank of switches, this would be a whole different ball game. Any current VST guitars like Orange Tree Samples? We talked about guitars a couple years ago, but love to see how to strum nowadays. Oh, sure, yeah, actually. Let's see here. Are we talking in Reason or Cubase? Just curious how to strum. Yeah, Rebirth itself has endless buttons. That thing's ridiculous. I mean, I was just literally to do the knobs on the 303s and the knobs to the different, like I said, that's 30 right there. The image, where'd my image go? Here it is. Yeah, here's the image. They've got 8 banks. They got 4 banks of 8 patterns. Okay, over here, plus a shuffle button. 2 more buttons here. So each of these devices has what we got. That's 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13, 20, 26, 52 knobs, buttons right here. 52 buttons. Actually, I made a mistake. These are a button as well. The pattern is an enable or disable this whole device right here. It's an on and off. So it's 56 buttons right here, just this. Then you start looking over here. Forget about this because we can't do anything with these. Because there's no way to really use them for note triggering type thing. There's no way to do that in a Combinator. But then you go over here. What do we got? 4, 8. Let's see. We'll count this with 16 with that. 20 with that one. 22, 25, 28, 31. It's 31 knobs right here, just doing the 909. Oh, did I get these 2 right here? Yeah, no, I didn't. See, I mean, there's so many knobs. So, I mean, I guess the decision comes down to how do you want Rebirth to work on Reason? I think that this way might be the best way. So basically what I think I'm going to do is I've already done a 909 and I have an 808 that I built, but I haven't put out yet, I don't think. Actually, no, you know what? I did put out the 808, but I did it different. I did that for 808 Day. Yeah, I'd have to find my 808 that I did. Put out the 808, 909 as individual instruments and go that route. And what I'll probably try to do there is, rather than worry about all this down here, let me hide those. Oops. I'll probably try and keep them each device this big, so that when you stack them, they take up part of the screen, not the entire screen. And then you can have your effects and whatnot over here on the right. That way, that might be the best way to do this. And then it'll be a full screen of Reason and a bunch of devices that you just are wired up, and I'll give you the whole project. Give the whole project away. That's gonna be a lot of work, but I'll do it because I'm stupid that way. Maybe I'll give it away for a couple days, and I'll give it to my regulars, and everyone else can pay something for it. You guys are my regulars, so you won't have to worry about it. Mini Tree Instrument play Orange Tree sample guitars and stuff. I don't know. Oh, the Orange Tree sample guitar. Let me see what that is. Let's try and get it. Dun, dun. Let's go here. Orange Tree samples. Is this... So this isn't free. Is there a trial to this? I am in the wrong line of work. Look at this, man. Yeah. All right. I don't know what they got going on here. Are they just are these just samples, or are they actually playing? Are they instruments? Let's pick one. We'll look at it. Banjo. I almost bought a banjo the other day, actually. Wow. Okay, I don't want to get copyright struck or whatever. I don't know what'll happen with that. I doubt anything, but that sounds really nice. Like the brightness of it sounds really authentic. Okay, so but if you're gonna do it with like, let's see, let's see if T guitar will open in this thing. I may have to open. Let me just open Cubase. Actually, you know what? That will defeat the purpose of the strummer because I won't know how to do strumming Cubase. I could use a player. All right, let's try. See if we can open it here first. Yes. All right. I guess technically it doesn't even matter what instrument. It's going to be the same method, but let's see here. Where's the browser? There it is. Oh, I can never remember how to use this thing when I need to. There we go. Where's T guitar? There it is. What was the guitar on it, Jim? You got this. There we go. That's loading. Let's see, where is the... Why is this not even playing? I haven't actually messed with this that much. Okay, so this just does... Well, this does chords automatically, I guess. Well, let's see here. We're just going to turn chords off. That should happen, though. All right, let me turn this down one more. All right, so if I was going to try and get this to strum, what I would do... First, let's see, we'll go over to... Let me take a picture of this so we can kind of see it a little. So, what the heck? Tell me that just crashed. It, no. There it is. That. I'm not sure what's going on there. That's weird. My computer just went crazy. Alright, so what I would do with this is, first I would throw a, go to players, and you would put a scales and chords on it to get the chord you wanted it to play. So there we go. That right there. And now to make it strum, if you go to players and you grab one of these guys, right? The note echo right here. Put that right there. Well, actually, you could do this a couple ways. This would do let's see here. It's strumming every note. Now what we need to do, right, we need the arpeggiator. Is this right? I think this is right. It's been a while since I've set this up. Yeah, we'll leave that 0. Turns the filter on for the notes, chords, let's see. Yeah, we'll try the arpeggiator instead. No, it's definitely something with the note echo. Maybe the note echo goes first. I can't remember which way this hooks up. That seems about right. Except that it's that's about it, I believe, right there. That's, you'd set up the note echo so you got the notes you wanted to hit. And then the chords does something where it just keeps it in the... Yeah, you may not even need the chords, actually. Let me try bypassing it. I can't remember if you do or don't. Let's take it off. Yeah. That keeps it in the right scale. It's a little repetitive, though, the way it does it. Clarify. The instrument already strums itself. I just want to figure out the best way to program it in the piano. Here. Proper MIDI articulation, etc. Program it in Cubase for downstroke and upstroke. Oh, so you're asking how to get it to If that's the case, so you want to know how to play. Basically, you're trying to learn you want to know how to play guitar, but as a keyboard. Is that what you're basically asking? Or are you? Well, you can, yeah, that'd be kind of tricky because you'd have to swap back and forth between up and down. I don't think you'd do it as a player. You'd probably have to either have, like if I use the T guitar, I think does that for you. I don't know how it does it. Let's see. But, let's see here. Looking for this. There we go. If you put chords on, let's see what patterns you have. Interesting. Yeah, program MIDI for it would be kind of. You'd almost have to play it like. I think you'd almost have to play it like you were going to play it. Basically, let's see here. Okay, how about? Hold on a second. Get rid of you. Delete that guy right there. Okay, so we're going back down to here. Nope, further down. Nope, even further down. Sorry. That slipped. I was trying not to cough, but that ended up just happening anyway. Mute. I'm not sure how to get that to be programmed without just drawing it in. I mean, maybe you could. Did I just close that by accident? I didn't close that one. Let me just get this up. Here's what I was trying to do. Like if you go, let's see here. I mean, let's turn that off. And now let's grab all this. This might literally be like the worst way to do this. I'm not sure. That sounds terrible, but I mean, you could do something like that where it's like, that doesn't sound very good, but trying to see, we need a little more something to it. Maybe it's the attack is too low. I don't know. Let's try crank it up, see what happens. Wow, that sounds like a first guitar lesson ever just now. This might be a little, yeah. Let's move you guys all closer, because that's like way out there as far as the timing. It's hard to explain, and I'm trying to like envision it in my head. And you don't think about the upstrokes. They just kind of happen when you play guitar. And I'm just thinking, nope, that would have a... Yeah, I don't know. Programming that would be tricky. I mean, you can get a strum sound from the player, but I think the way it's going to sound, I don't know. Like I think it'd be hard to actually manually program that in. I've never actually sat and programmed in a full guitar type, except for solo parts. You know, I mean, that's like, whatever. That's just playing. That's just noodling around on it. But, strokes. Yeah, right. Where are we at here? Yes. Ugh, I'm in. Sounds very interesting, like has no real... Oh, there we go. Sounds pretty good. I'm just saying the sound of this guitar is pretty nice. Not sure if these are hooked up to anything. Fret noise volume. Okay, that's pretty cool. Well, I don't know though. The MIDI sensitivity. Interesting. So that's like actual like. Let's go back out here for a second. How you determine which is push and pull. Oh, maybe these C fuzzy were out here. No, that's some kind of fret noise, like a muted sound. Let's see. Left-handed strum. Okay, so the fingers are with pick. Bumped into something here. It was an accident. Okay, I totally changed the sound of this guitar by mistake. Strum speed. Yeah, I don't know, man. You have to. Oh, it must be one of these. It's got to be something I touched down here. Nope. No idea what I bumped into. Something went weird. Don't sweat it. I'll search more videos. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure. I haven't really, I don't know. Usually if I need a guitar, I bought this one because I thought it sounded cool and I thought it'd be fun to mess with. But usually if I need a guitar, I just break out a guitar and play and record And it's weird because when you think about upstrokes, you don't think about them. It's weird when you actually play a guitar. It's like they just kind of instinctively happen. It's not like I sit there and I think, down, down, up, down, up. It's just the pattern in your head and it just happens. You know what I mean? It's so to try and take it from what feels really natural and try and make it into something on a screen, it kind of feels weird. I can't explain it. I bought this, like I said, for pretty much for like lead type stuff. I thought it was neat that all the keys themselves were sampled, or all the individual strings were sampled, and you could actually play it out like you would, notes on a piano, so to speak. But I haven't actually messed with the orange guitar stuff at all. I've never even looked at it. Game Genie? What do you mean? I missed that. I don't understand the Game Genie. That was a hack thing for Nintendo, right? I remember that back in the day with the. I want to say I got something like that for my my Genesis, like a a thing you could put in and it would let you put codes into the game. Oh no, you know what? I think it might have been my PlayStation. One of them had some kind of a thing like that where you could push those, put some pokes and change some values, and that was kind of neat back in the day where you could like, oh, look, I changed it so that instead of referencing this animation, it was referencing this one, and this one was blocked. It's the Japanese version, It was still sitting there waiting for you to, not allowed in this country. You're looking for the cheat. I gotcha. Articulations, yes. See, I don't know. I have to look. I'd have to mess with it more and see if I can come up with anything for that, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with that rebirth scenario though, because that's a couple people asking for that, and I'm thinking, like, I started building it, like I said, out of as one patch, but I think it's gotta be more than one patch. It's just not manageable in one giant piece. Without actually writing code. If I were writing it as code, that's one thing. Now you've got kind of like everything for its own, its own thing. But when you're using a Combinator, that's like it's not real software per se. You're using to generate something, but it's not, you don't have full control over anything. And the advantage of using the way that I was saying also is that you could use something like this, the mixed pattern generator or sequencer here, one of these guys, and now you kind of have that same kind of interface that I was talking about earlier with the like they had basically in Rebirth. Because if I take this thing here and I hook this up to some other instrument, if I go back over here again, and we just grab this guy right here, boom. You can set up patterns and that type of thing in here, and then jump around them in a performance type environment, which is kind of cool, because that wasn't, I feel like that's not something that was necessarily intended with Rebirth or with Reason. I feel like it was intended for production mostly, not really performance. But this is definitely like more of a performance type thing. You can use these in production, record the steps and that type of thing, but you could just sit here and make patterns type thing and then run them to something else. And this thing gives you a lot more control. I think more than a lot of the sequences that they put in the actual, in the actual RD or TR, 3 or TB303 or TR909 or 808. You can do a lot more with them here than you can there. Especially not, like I said, we have players. And as far as like, something like the, the drum player one they have? Build device, no. Drum sequencer. This guy right here will let you do all the things you could do with the drum sequencer on an 808 or a 909 and more. You can do it. It does ratcheting and the whole thing right on screen. You could definitely run this as like in a performance type scenario, and then just probably even trig these off of if I go right here and go to control mapping, let's see. Okay, yeah. Technically, I could even... Okay. I can jump to... Is that just going up? That's interesting. That's not, let me pick the actual pattern. That's weird. Oh well, we'll figure that out after. Anyway, but yeah, cool stuff, I think. Hey Captain, what was that effect device you were using? Oh, what's ABL3? ABL3 is a it's actually as an instrument, believe it or not. ABL. Here we go. This is basically it's like a TB303, and it's like a virtual TB303, and you can get this. It's a purchased thing. You can put your patterns in here. Yeah, there you go. There's the view of the pattern. Tells you what this is the where you can edit the key. Let's see, where's the but yeah, it's just like if you wanted to do some acid music, that's what I was saying. Like some one of the things people are asking for, a lot of people have been asking for is a let's see. All right, there we go. Is a to redo Rebirth, which was two 303s, an 808 and a 909, as you like I said, and it had a distortion and a effects unit and a couple things to it. I'm like, does it really need to be remade that way? Because I mean, really, we have these devices like this. This is the newer one. This one has the sequencer and everything. There was an ABL1 and there's an ABL2. Let me go back over. Oops. Which I have both. And the one, the two really was what the one turned into, and the three was a totally different thing. It was a different purchase. But this one, you basically it has just the sounds of the 303, you know. And it sounds really good. You get your two different sine waves here. They got the sorry, that's the distortion type. The sine waves are on the side. Sorry. But yeah, they're both really good. And this, they can do the same things. The only difference is this one up here has a sequencer to it, you know. And it just seems like it'd be a lot of fun to mess with. But I don't even know what it goes for these days. And the funny part is I have to actually log into like a fake. I'll call it a fake account. It's not a fake account. It's just an account that's not my. Hey, Secret. Happy holidays, man. I'll catch you later. I didn't know you. Sorry, I just thought you were leaving. Be safe, my man. And happy Christmas shopping. Watch out for the crazy crowds. But yeah, this thing sounds pretty good. I mean, in this plus, you know, an 808 and a 909, I don't know, you know, it's really worth trying to, outdo that in a Combinator. I don't know. I mean, could be wrong. Let's see here. Over here, should be able to. All right, so you're in there now. You're into the. That's just going to make all this noise. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, if you wanted to set up like a 303 type line, you could definitely do it right here. And down here you have and you have as many 303s as you want, really, when you think about it, because that was the one thing I was like, oh, so what's at the time when Rebirth 2 came out, I'm like, what Rebirth 3 will have like another synthesizer or three 303s, because, you know, something more, I hoped was something more than that, but then they never brought out anything past Rebirth 2. But when they killed it, everybody was like, when they killed off Rebirth, because Roland was suddenly very adamant that the 303 was theirs and not anyone else's to play with type thing. It wasn't, you weren't allowed to, you know, try and duplicate their stuff. They were re-releasing the 303 and the 808 and the 909 in these boutique devices. Pardon me. They made Propellerheads get rid of the Rebirth. Get rid of it completely. No more support for it. So they pulled it. But then it's funny because as they pulled it from them, you know, Behringer comes up and says, hey, we're going to remake the 808. Not only are we going to remake it, it's going to look just like the old 808 and do what the old 808 did. And now they're doing the 909 and they did the 303. So, you know. Yeah, get that Subway deal. Yeah, you can get a cookie in there too. No, I was kidding. But yeah, it was pretty cool though. Back in the day when I remember seeing this before VST. That was when Rebirth came out, and that was what actually at first gave me hope that someday software synthesizers might be a thing, you know. And I was not super hyped about them once I saw VST, but when I saw Reason for the first time, and I saw that it was from Propellerheads, I'm like, hey, those are the guys who made that Rebirth, and Rebirth was great, so maybe Reason will be great, you know. And yeah, and it was, you know, so, and I'm still using it, so it must be pretty good. Anyway, the time is it? It is 2:41. I should probably call this quits soon. I actually have to do some stuff around the house because, as I mentioned in the beginning, I was talking about that party we got going on next week on Sunday. We have my wife's whole family coming over here for a Christmas party. It's the day after Christmas, though. We usually try and do it before, but we're doing it after this year because of timing and that type of thing. But my son and I have to rearrange our basement so that it's conducive to having people in it. Right now, it was pretty conducive, but then we decided to make it into a gym, and so I've got to move some equipment around. I got a treadmill to put away, and a total gym, and another gym, and elliptical machine, and a boxing bag, a punch bag. I've got to move, so that's going to be some work. Anyway, I got to actually run to Best Buy and get like a 50 or 75-foot coax cable, unless they have some better way to stream TV from coaxial cable to a TV across the house, which they probably do, and I'll probably end up spending money on something stupid that I don't need, but it's just the way I am. Anyway. All right, man. Well, what do you call it? I'm going to try and stream one more time this week before the holidays really hit us, because obviously on Christmas, chances are I'm not going to have the luxury of coming down to stream. I do want to do one more episode with some kind of a free gift. It's going to be the one way or another. It's going to be the REBIRTH remake for everybody as a something I'm trying to put together to give to everybody to make everybody's Christmas a little better. Yeah, 24-hour fitness gym. Dude, I need a 24-hour fitness gym. I'll tell you right now, man. I don't go out anywhere, and if I can help it, especially with this whole pandemic thing going on, I've gone out even less than I usually would go out, and my family has really benefited from my, not wanting to go outside by buying, I bought the treadmill and all the things, and I'm like, hey, if you want to work out, just go downstairs. I got everything you need. That I personally, all I ever use is the total gym and the treadmill. The elliptical I bought for my wife, which she hates the thing, which is hilarious, but my son uses it occasionally. And I bought him a weight bench, so he uses my 50-pound. I forget what brand they are, but they're one of those, like, where you adjust the weights and the weights drop off. It's not the latest one that's out, not from the people who make what's that one with the rods or whatever, Nordic Track or one of them. It's not one of those. It's someone else. It's like Golds, or someone had a set that my wife bought me years back, and I've never particularly liked them much because the handle is just so chunky. It's chunky in the middle, and like holding on to this thing, I prefer a better grip, something I can really grab onto when I'm lifting weights. This thing is smooth, and it's kind of thin on the edges and thick in the middle, so it's kind of like shaped like a and it just feels really weird in your hand. It's just, I can't really get my fingers almost together around it because it's just so thick in the middle, that it's just not very. It doesn't feel like I get a good grip on that weight when I use it, so I kind of don't tend to use it that much. I don't know. I personally am used to the diamond cut, type metal bars that you can buy most places that gash up your hands pretty good, or they hold on pretty good, but. Yeah, that's the other reason I didn't join a gym. I mean, the thing was like, well, first of all, the pandemic was going on when I started buying more of this equipment, expanding it. I had a treadmill, but I figured if it's here in the house, I have no excuse not to just go downstairs and do it. If it's somewhere I got to drive to, I'm gonna find a reason not to drive. I could be like, oh, I'd go to the gym, but I need to get rid of these leaves over here, so let me do that real quick. I'm going to go to the gym. I would go to the gym. Oh, and now it's too late, and I want to eat dinner, and I need to make dinner for everybody, or blah, 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 Now it's like, oh, man, I got like 45 minutes of free time. I guess I'll get on the treadmill for 40 minutes or 45 minutes or something, do that, grab a shower, go to bed type thing, just do it. I'm not a super workout guy anymore. I used to be really into working out when I was younger, but that's when I was younger, and now I'm not young anymore. So, don't have time the way I used to dedicate to it. It's just life. Anyway, 21 playbacks. That's crazy. A lot of people have been on and off through this stream today. I don't think anybody hung out though. It's just you in secret mostly. Anyway. All right, man. Well, Sorry, that's everything. Okay, so I thought something new on the screen. I apologize. Anyway, dude. Well, look, I'm going to roll for now. I will try and catch you before the holidays, and I will try and be on one more time over the week. I think I will probably be on Thursday night is what my goal is, because Thursday night, the night before Christmas Eve, I know we got our church thing to do Thursday night, and we'll probably do that. And then when I get home, I'll probably get on for a little bit, stream for a while, or at least put a video out. Something's got to happen this week. And I will catch you then. I've got also a new Christmas track I'm working on, which I'll probably use for the background on there. It's just a hyped up, trance house type or trance or hyper type house music version of, another Christmas song that's already out there. It's not, I didn't want to step on any toes, and I didn't want to get any copyright infringement. So I went old, common music that pretty much public domain Christmas music. So anyway, just trying to avoid YouTube shutting me down, Anyway, all right, man. Well, I will let you rock, and I will catch you on the next one, my man. Hopefully, if I don't see you on the next one, if you're not around or whatever, have an awesome Christmas, and I will see you as soon as I can after that. During the week between Christmas and New Year's, I'm definitely going to be streaming more because I am off the entire week. So I'm planning on streaming a few days that week, and probably different times type thing, just to, try and set some new habits for the new year for music production, try and get everyone kind of pumped up to write new music for January. Thanks, my man. I do appreciate it. All right. I'll catch you later on. Be safe. And good luck Christmas shopping, man. Get out there. You still got a week left. I know you'll be early if you go out now, but, I'm sure if you want, you could still, get someone to bump into someone, knock someone down if you had to. No, I'm just joking. Don't knock anyone down. Not encouraging violence. That's enough violence out there in the world without me being a goofball joking around. All right. I'll talk to you later on, Ivan. Everybody else, peace out. Have an awesome holiday week, and I will see you in the next one. Be safe. Bye for now.